So they finally added missions to Overwatch play cards. And would you look at that, they're using a Null Trooper. But wait, take a look what happens when I put my mouse over the play card. Looking between its legs, you can see some type of environment from Rio. So it seems like they just forgot to cover this environment. And with that, welcome back to another Useless Overwatch Facts. I will take you through some of my favorite useless facts about Overwatch. I will be covering some fun, neat aspects of the game on this episode. And finally, I got a bunch of facts submitted by the community. So without further ado, let's get into it. Overwatch has a weird little oversight related to the Null Trooper player icon, which it is actually a picture of the Titan. So that's a bit funny, which I can assume this happened since the Null Trooper actually got no player icon. But that's just a fun little player profile fact. Let's get to cosmetics people actually care about, the skins. Pink Mercy is a very iconic Overwatch skin, which beyond being a limited time charity skin, it's in many ways like a prototype mythic skin, with all its cool sound and visual changes. It has a very cool effect where it changes Mercy's pistol's bullet's color, which is so far the only Mercy skin to do this. And when Mercy's resting, there's this cool new sound effect.
I will not let you fall!
And the skin changes all of her Overwatch 1 highlight intros. And here's just a quick comparison so you can see it. And funnily enough, another skin that changes the highlight intro's effect is Nihon Genji, which changes the highlight intro's effect to red in only this specific highlight intro, since with any other highlight intro, the effect stays green. But anyway, here's the last cool thing with Pink Mercy. When you select the skin, you hear this cool little effect, which a few skins actually have a special sound effects for being selected, like Saitama Doomfist, Funky Baptiste, Amaterasu Kiriko, Cardboard Reinhardt, and of course, Warguard Ana. But let's talk about something else fun with Ana. So most people probably recognize Ana's very iconic Overwatch 1 gun. Taking a good look at her gun on the HUD, if you look close you can see something's off, since this clearly isn't her Overwatch 1 gun. And if you have a keen eye you probably recognize this is actually her gun from the Wasteland skin. And this is because sometime during development, Ana's Wasteland skin was meant to be her default skin. But when they later changed that, they never updated her gun. But speaking of guns, did you know we actually got 3 heroes that can reload with an emote? Which are Cassidy, Pharah, and Delari. And something fun with Cassidy's reload, you can see on the HUD he reloads with 1 bullet at a time. Also, Pharah here got something else fun with emotes. So you know Pharah's classic laughing emote. But if she has specifically the Devil or Inario skin equipped, her laugh will be changed to this. Which is such a fun extra thing to give these skins. But a skin you might not expect changes something small is this skin for Mei, Mary. So normally with this voice line she says,
You have to let it go.
but if you have Mary equipped she says this,
You have to let us know.
which is just such a fun minor thing they did for her. And to start finishing up these skin facts, Junkrat's Junkbot skin has this very neat Easter egg. If you look on the side of the tie you normally can't see, there's this drawing he seems to have made of him, Roadhog, and the Queen. And with how Riptide works in the game and the fact it's just on his back, you're not really going to see this drawing in a normal game, which I think is a fun little Easter egg to add to the skin. So one of the older facts I've covered about this game is the fact some of the skins glow in the dark. And since then, more skins have come out, so let's take a look at those. Reinhardt with his Demon Lord skin goes with this really nice red, which feels really nice and demonic. Reaper's new Overwatch League Championship skin really glows nice with this blue flame. And my favorite skin to probably look at here has to be Sigma's Mythic Emperor. In this light, he just looks so nice and menacing. And something I also really love is that his rocks in the conductor emote also glow. Which something fun I found out while using Fox in this room is that his ult actually doesn't light up the room. So I get this really nice dark outline of Sigma, which just really stands out in a nice way. Which also recreate a similar effect with Sombra's EMP. I'm also updating my mode so you easily can get the replay of this, so you can really get a close look at this and experiment. So recently I took a look at the Overwatch Rio demo, and looking at the cutscene I noticed something strange, which is some of the heroes Overwatch 2 looks, for lack of better term, look kinda off. So wondering why that was, I looked at them side by side. Which now that we start to take a look at Reinhardt here, it really stands out how different his face is. Which first of all, his hair was done completely differently. And there seem in general to just be changed in his face. It feels like they tried to more realistic hair for Reinhardt, but went back to the more classic Overwatch style hair, which to me is for the better. And we see a similar transformation with Winston, where his face and hair was completely different, even including his glasses, which were just way bigger. And of course, Brick didn't have a redesign yet, but that's a more big, easy thing to spot. Also, a few shots look different, since the aspect ratio for cutscenes is different now. And for what I know, they're using a new lens. But I still love having these fun early versions of cutscenes. I would love to one day see even more cutscenes with the early versions. But hey, since we're talking about the PvE missions anyway, when you go into the PvE menu, which is Winston's desk, the camera quickly goes past Winston, which for some reason is still using his Overwatch 1 model, which is a bit funny to haven't updated this, since he doesn't look like this anymore. Something weird about the Gothenburg mission is when you get to the segment with the turrets, the only hero to have a special placement animation is Reinhardt, which is exactly the same animation as you have for the item system. And now it's a fun time to look at some of the fun little game quirks there are. So in the firing range there's a new ult canister, and for some reason a Sombra, you can hack it. So it seems like the ult canister is just like a reskin of the health pack, at least with its functionality. Which a hero who got some fun little quirks with the ult, which is Winston. So through the custom game you can extend a hero's ultimate time, which if you do that to Winston, and the timer exceeds its normal 10 seconds, the effect that makes him red and have that electricity come out of him is just gone. So now you just have a huge version of regular Winston, who's still looking really angry. And Moira has a similar fun quirk with her ultimate, that if you extend the timer of it, her hand will look a bit weird at the beginning. But it's actually because the timer for ultimate and the animation are tied to each other. So basically the slower the timer is, the slower the animation is. So her hand for a while is stuck on this smear frame. But if you make her ultimate super short, you can see how fast animation plays. Which is a funny thing that's only tied to Moira's ultimate so far. Since we got another weird thing to do with animations, this time tied to Lucio's crossfade. To do it, you first need to change some of your settings for Lucio. Basically, you need to change it to the settings, you gotta hold crossfade to change the song. And if you then release the button during an emote, the animation of Lucio changing crossfade will then overlap whatever his hand is supposed to do in the emote, which can create some funny results. Like here he's meant to stand with one hand, but because I released the button, he then does the animation for doing crossfade. And speaking of Lucio anyway, we can head to his kitchen, which something cool they did here is that this is actually a recreation of the kitchen we saw for him in the Lucio O's commercial, which came out a year before Rio was first shown. And now we're finally getting to my favorite segment of this. Let's finish this up by talking about some of the cool map facts. So in Eichenwald there's this clock shop, which has the name Uhrenkeller, which if you translate that from German, it's called watch cellar. But Uhrenkeller also sounds similar to something else, which is the current name of Overwatch's game director, Aaron Keller. So there's a chance this shop is actually named after him. And another fun name reference is in Hollywood, specifically the Halloween version. So if we take a look at one of the Junkenstein posters, it says the movie is made by Prometheus Productions, which is actually a reference to Overwatch's codename, Project Prometheus, which was the game's name internally before being named Overwatch. And something else related to Prometheus is found here in Anubis, which you can see different robot bodies around, but one of them is really interesting, because when we take a closer look at this, it's actually Echo's model from Project Prometheus. Since such an early version of a model is in this map, it really shows how long they want to make this a hero. But on the topic of something that didn't make it into the game, we got something here in Savasa, which as you can see here, it's just an empty body of water. But when they were teasing this map, this place was actually meant to be filled with crocodiles. But for some reason before the map came out, they scrapped them, which I think is a huge shame. So please, if you got this far, write in the comments, #FreeTheCrocs. And speaking of something that's missing, So in Busan Sanctuary, there's this big stone tablet, which has this pedestal under it, but for some reason the CTF version of this map, the pedestal is just missing. So now it's time to wrap this up with this. So in Control, when the score comes up, if you're on PC and turn off your HUD, you can actually see what you're doing and move around. And the best part is you can still attack the enemies. It won't count for anything, it's just a fun little thing to do after the match is over. And sadly, because console players can turn off their HUD, it's harder to do, but you can technically still control your hero. And that's it for now. Thank you so much for going through these fun facts with me. Since this past year of Overwatch has been such a fun journey. And I can't forget, I need to highlight quickly, here's the Twitter account of some of the people that found these facts. And if you have any cool facts you want me to talk about in the future, please write them down in the comments. Also remember to allow yourself to sometimes just enjoy something in more simple ways. As much as this game about improving your gameplay, there's so many other fun ways you can engage with it. So please, maybe say one of the reasons why you enjoy it in a different way. And as always, have a good one everyone.